On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 2019. We're going to be taking a look at Lee Kernaghan, and he's going to be performing Texas QLD 4385. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, we'll probably jump into this one about halfway through, so if you want to watch it the whole way through without me interrupting it, there's a link in the description below, as always, and that will take you through to Lee's official channel, so you can check out more of his music over there and watch lots more videos. So, without further ado, let's get Lee and his band up on screen and see how they get on.
I said, hey, I said, I'm gonna start this again. I said, hey, hey, I said, hey, hey, I said, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, hey. People say it's a one-horse town. Well, there's nothing much to do when the sun goes down. But if you say it out loud at the Royal Hotel, you get a fee, get a bite as well. You even need to find me, write me a letter, drop it in the mailbox, tell them to deliver it to Texas QLD 4385. That's my home sweet home out on the borderline. This is not the USA. We do things our own way. Texas QLD 4385. Amy lives out on the Bebo Road. Yes, she took a trip to Warwick to the rodeo. Now the boys up there to see she was hot, loving like bees round the honey pot. Tried to crack the code, tried to get a number. She took out a pen, scratched down something about Texas QLD 4385. That's the home sweet home out on the borderline. This is not the USA. We do things our own way. Texas QLD 4385.
I'm just going to jump in here just before we finish the lead guitar solo, which we will jump into at the end. We'll also jump into the rhythm work on the guitars, but here, just to throw it out there, that Lee is still playing the rhythm on acoustic guitar, as we can see him playing the riff at the beginning. This is almost a mix of country and hard rock because of the riff we've got going on. We've got a Fender Strat on stage as well, which is responsible for the heavier sound that we get from the riff. Fair amount of distortion on there as well. What I like about when Lee started this performance, he starts it getting the crowd involved, so we get that element to it. But it's obviously the case where when you are playing live, sometimes you might have an acoustic guitar and you strum those strings, and it's not exactly clear as to the pitch. You might not even be able to hear the guitar back over the foldback speakers or within the venue. So this is the point that when Lee starts the song, obviously he can't really hear his guitar. So vocally, when he comes in and he gets the crowd involved, he then just makes sure that he has one more strum on his guitar. He restarts. He says, I think I'm going to start that again. So he's now got a bit of a reference point for his pitch when he goes into the intro, and then we are fine from then on as soon as we hit that A chord. So it's a tiny little detail, but one of those things that you don't want to start the song, or anybody who is less experienced would just continue with the song, not having that reference point of pitch and knowing where you are, but you took that little time out to get reset and then started up again, got the crowd involved, and now we're fully in key and ready to jump into this riff in A. So I'm going to bust out the guitar early on in tonight's analysis video because we've got this hard rock element to it, really cool riff and a fair amount of distortion on the sound like I said, but we're in A and we've got this kind of palm muted sound to the rhythm as well, like that, little hammer on there, and then we're basically having a little slide up to what would be your D down to the C, but you play that as a third finger, first finger bar. So we get this, that kind of sound. And if you want to apply exactly the same techniques that are going on here, I'll slow it down a little bit because we have, and there's a little wobble on that first finger before you then move down. So you can throw that in there if you want to. There's always this third finger bar, but sometimes we go to just the first finger and sometimes there's a double bend on that G string, the B string, just down to that single first finger, or the first finger bar that you can apply a little bit. It sounds like just a couple of wobbles on there. So it sounds pretty much like we've got this that kind of thing. And you just alternate between those two. The other thing, technique-wise, is that sometimes here we're dancing on the edge of that pinched harmonic with the right hand, straight, and a slight harmonic in there, kind of like that. It is subtle, and you can hear when we get into that, sometimes on that third finger, it will just sneak in there. Just varying amounts of pinched harmonic on that right hand, but you can throw that in there as well if you want to. But it's good to bed in the riff first without any harmonics and then just add a little bit in there as is being played here, just to make it a little bit more interesting and give you something slightly different rather than just playing the riff the same way every time. So there's a lot of technique going on here. So that's going to be the riff for the verse, and I've just tuned my guitar up, by the way. We were running a little bit flat, but now we're a little bit closer. So with that A, we do jump into a D, and this is pretty much going to be our pre-chorus, which is then going to go down to our F sharp minor, and then down into the E, and you can flick those top strings if you want. And then we've got a little run up into our chorus, and I'm not sure whether that was it or not. That was just a little semitone run up. I'm doing 2, 3, 4 on the low E string, running myself up into the A, which is where our chorus starts. And when we're into the chorus, we've got the A, and we're going over to the D, little pinch 3rd fret, A string. You might even have a little pinch on the 3rd fret of the low E string as well. Then we go to the A. If you can stretch over with a little finger with your E, that'd be good. D and F sharp on the low E string. E, A, and then if you can, place in that C sharp, D into a C, and there was an A, pinch 3rd fret, low E string again on that G, into the E, and I think we're back into the riff at that point. So that's your verse into pre-chorus into chorus. But there is quite a lot of technique to this rhythm work because of the palm muting on that right hand. We've got this just resting on the strings to make sure they don't ring out too much. But this song, and especially this live performance, is that blending of genres, and as you can tell from my hair, that the hard rock sound is right up my street. So I love playing along with this kind of thing. And just a quick word on Lee and the fact that he's such a huge selling country artist in Australia. Since 1992, I was having a look through some of his albums, and 13 that have been released since 1992, 8 of them have gone at least platinum. Some of them have gone multi-platinum. I think 3 of them have gone gold. So just a huge seller. And in 1986, he went over to the USA and performed in Nashville. And that was at the Fanfare Country Music Festival that they have over there. And he was the Australian contingent to represent them over there. But he's just such a nice guy as well, having done so much over in Australia, and he is a previous winner of Australian of the Year, and he supports local communities and especially farming and just keeping everything going, supporting local communities as well, with so many things that happen over in Australia, such as droughts and bushfires and you name it. They certainly get their fair share of extreme weather conditions over there. But Lee is such a nice guy, watching interviews with him, but just an all-round nice guy and a top country artist as well. But let's jump back into the video and we'll watch it all the way to the end.
Are you ready, Rainbow? Rainbow girls, are you ready? All the girls say hey ya, hey ya. They say hey ya, hey ya. Fellas, can you do that? I don't know. All the fellas say, hey, ya, hey, ya. Hey, ya, hey, ya. I said, hey, ya, hey, ya. Hey, ya, hey, ya. Everybody says, hey, ya, hey, ya. Hey, ya, hey, ya. We say, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey. Texas QLD, more create vibe. That's my home sweet home out on the borderline. I'm not talking about USA's just a little country town off the main highway. Texas QLD 135. Yeah, Texas. Texas QLD 135. Yeah, yeah, I'm talking about Texas. Going back to Texas. Thank you, Rainbow!
And there we have it. By the way, I should have pointed out that Texas is also a place in Australia, and that's what Lee's referring to with this song. But a great live performance from everyone here. Great harmonica sound in there as well. The backing vocals, look out for those, because when you have that female backing vocal in there, it really does lift that lead vocal as well. And she's got definitely some pipes on her in the background. You can just hear some really subtle runs that she does, just tailing off at the end of the backing vocals. But just a top band here, great lead guitar as well, which we will get into. Especially with a performance like this, you can see how much the crowd are into it, and that's just down to Lee being such a showman and getting everybody involved with the performance. And it just so happens as well that there's great musicianship on stage, super tight sound, and just a great live version of the original, which you can find on his album, and that's called Electric Rodeo, by the way, if you want to check that out. So we are going to jump into the solo very briefly just to see what's going on the fretboard.
Texas QLD 135.
Okay, so this first phrase, it sounds like we have a bend, and then we just let the string down and then go back up again. And then, so that was a little put off, like that. And semitone run down, take it down to the B. Octaves. not sure whether we ended there on 12th fret or 14th fret, but pretty straightforward once you get the right notes. Kind of like that. Okay, so there, we're just following the F and the G. So on the F, we've got this kind of like that. And then that kind of thing. This isn't exactly the same as is being played. I'm just giving you a rough idea. But when we've got that, you know, just that approach, you know, that you'd have when we go and kind of like that. Just see what happens. And then we have this. So just going up to a bend, 15th fret here. You might want to be on your bridge pickup to get that to cut through a little bit more. You can see here that he's got his bridge pickup selected, so it's just the tone that is a little bit more muted. So he might be taking a little bit of brightness out of the sound either on his amp or on his guitar, just rolling off some of that tone. But then...
Are you ready, Frank?
Okay, we then... Yeah, there is a bit of an exaggerated vibrato on that last line.
Are you ready, Frank? Go!
Yeah, it's kind of that, again, hint of a harmonic in there. Kind of like that. Might actually be a slide down. Along those kind of lines. So a little bit of a throwaway line at the end, vibrato on that last A, and then we're probably going to be back into... And now we've got the breakdown. So this is where harmonica comes in, and we have the crowd section where they're just going to join in a little bit more. We're going to be following the chords throughout this whole solo, and that's the point, that we're not just staying in one shape here, like I said with that. And get over to our A at the end, and that's just a minor pentatonic bend. So I'm just in my minor pentatonic shape there, the extended shape. So we're playing over the top of the chords even when we get to that A, you know, a little bit of that minor pentatonic. This is the thing about country music. Whenever you're listening to a lead guitar solo, generally, there are quite a lot of passages within that are 16th notes. So you've got to have top technique on the right hand with the alternate picking. Usually it's a really clean tone as well. And of course, the right hand's got to be synchronized with the left hand to make all of those alternate picks stand out and for every note to be nice and clean. But thank you guys, and thank you Neil for requesting a look at Lee. And Neil Hansen, as we all know from the live streams, he's one of the moderators in there. He sent this my way, and he also sent me Lee's album as well, so thank you for that. And it's great to check out a little bit of country music from Australia, just to hear how it varies ever so slightly. But you can tell that Lee just has that sound to his voice as well. It does work with the Australian accent, as well as that classic twang that we get over in the USA. But great to check out Lee, and just a huge selling artist in his own right in that country genre. As I said, thank you Neil for sending this my way, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments section below. Keep the suggestions coming in the comment section below as well. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!